Hi, guys, and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. We have another great episode for you today. Of course, we only bring the best guest speakers in, and today we got Monica Simpson, and she's going to be sharing her story. Hi, Monica.
Oh,
Her story about being a real estate investor and a coach, and what it took to get there, basically. But before we get started on Monica, how many weddings have you been to in the last 10 years?
oh man. Well, now in the last 10 years, ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say probably 4 or 5.
Four or five? What happened to none?
Well, in the last 10 years, in the last year, it's been none.
Okay, last year. Oh, I said year. Okay, see, that's me getting old. I covered all my grays. But no, okay. So usually when you go into a wedding, like the ceremony,
Mhm.
you'll come in and see what do you have to sign?
Usually just a little book, little
Yes, a little book, right? So
disclosure, yeah.
no, this is the cool concept. No more signing the little book. Lifeonrecord.com is one of our sponsors here. They have a vintage rotary phone that your guests can come and pick it up and leave a message. Okay. It could be a 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. 10 minutes really long for a message. But right next to the phone, they have a little sign and this QR code that your guests can get their cell phone out, scan that so they can leave a message right then or after your ceremony, whenever they want. And once all those messages are collected, they burn the messages on a 10-inch vinyl records, or they have
Hmm.
this cute little boom box that is so adorable that it collects everybody's voices. I love the concept of hearing somebody's voice, because it's all in their tone. They can say, "Yay, I'm so happy that you guys got married. Oh, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful marriage." Or they can be, "What took you so long? I mean, she's been waiting for this diamond." I mean, it could be anything like that, but you can sit back and giggle and listen to those messages. So their plans only start at $99 and you get the phone number for a year. Now, I tell everybody right before the year anniversary, call and say happy anniversaries. They get those messages too.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty
but other
cool.
than that, you can find out more information at www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. So, Monica, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I want to know first, and our viewers would want to know, who is Monica?
Oh man, it's taken me 40, almost 46 years to figure that one out. Yeah. I'm about to cross my next chapter here. And I think finally getting to the point where she's a cool chick. I like her. She's a boss. She's, making things happen. So I think, kind of the normal stuff. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I have two beautiful young adults. I have a 17-year-old and a about to be 19-year-old that keep me on my toes. And I'm a career woman. I've, been in my career for 22 years. It'll be here in January. But also, I am reinventing myself as an entrepreneur as well. So I have now been doing real estate investing for a few years and am getting into coaching. I'm doing some group coaching for other investors that want to come up. So really getting to a place where I'm just loving everything I'm doing and doing things that make me, fulfilled, truly.
That's the best way to go, though. When you
Absolutely.
like what you're doing and you're passionate about it, you can move so far and take that energy that you have into a company, whether it's yours or somebody else's, and make it succeed. So, people, when you're hiring people, look at their energy. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
you're getting out of employees and stuff. So, but before you got there, I was reading some of the hard times too, And of course, I don't want to bring it up, but I just did. So we got to talk about it. And I mean, finding your way and the challenges that you might had to face and everything. Share that with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think so I know everybody goes through tough times. We all do,
Mhm.
right? It's just kind of part of life. That's the cycle of life. But probably 4 years ago now, I can't believe how time just flies when you're not paying attention, not looking. But yeah, it was 2019. I had sort of an abrupt job change, still with the company that I'm currently with and I've been with for many, many years. But my job changed. And it wasn't voluntarily, right? I was voluntold that my job was being changed.
Oh, I like that
Um,
word.
yeah, voluntold,
Voluntold.
right? And so it was fine. I mean, I'm in the role still and I enjoy it, but it wasn't my choice. And so I think that was sort of the hardest thing for me was that uncertainty, which I know a lot of folks have, right? That uncertainty in your work and your job and going, okay, if my job could change that abruptly, what else could change? Can it go away
Mhm,
completely? And so when that all happened, I started thinking about, well, what else would I do? What's my backup plan? And so I had to set up and enrolled in real estate classes, thinking like, okay, well, maybe I'll get my license. And I've always sort of liked real estate, but had never really gotten involved. Well, then probably a month after my classes started, which was like in January of 2020, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 uterine cancer. And so that
oh,
was, flip yourself upside down because my whole world changed. And then COVID hit and everything shut down. We were all, what did they call it? We have to stay at home, right? Quarantine at home or
we're
whatever it
in our
was.
bubble.
Yeah, we were all in a bubble. I mean, you couldn't even go buy groceries, people were wiping their bags down. It was such a strange and tumultuous time in general for everyone. And then obviously personally, I was kind of going through the whole job change and not, kind of feeling that angst of, is my job secure? What's going on? And then my mom obviously was the biggest priority at that time. It was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And so it's just a really rough time. It was, 6 months of like, what is next? What is going to
Yeah.
happen next? But on the flip side, right, on the bright
Mhm,
side, and really this is something that in the moment you don't realize, you really don't. You just think, oh my gosh, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? Whatever. But looking back now, it was really it was a perfect combination for me personally. It was my mom getting sick obviously was not perfect, but the fact that we were at home was a
mhm.
blessing that we
Yeah,
didn't realize. I was home with her every day until she passed in October. And so I took her to all of her treatments and all of her chemos and like, I was blessed to be there every single day. There wasn't
yeah.
any time where it was like I'm not. And she lived with us, which was also a blessing. So she was at home with us and my kids, could go downstairs and see grandma whenever they wanted and we could watch
Aw.
the Mass Singer, every week together and all of those things. And so it was just a time where we were able to really concentrate on
Yeah,
each other in our family and enjoy that time that we had together, even though we were going through that. And then
yeah.
the other thing was that it led me to this second career. Really, I mean, I had no intention or didn't really think about becoming a real estate investor, right? I was going to get my license and maybe, I'm going to sell a few houses sort of thing. And
Mhm,
then through the folks that I learned or that I met, I started learning about real estate investing. We had a property, so I have to go back a little bit. We had a property that we purchased probably 2016, 2015 or 16 for my mom, thinking that she would live in it as like her
mhm.
retirement home. And she did not like living alone. And so probably 3 months in, she was like, I don't want to live by myself. I'm coming with you. And so we ended up renting it out and became, landlords, not really thinking we were going to become landlords, but we did. And it just worked out. I mean, I knew nothing about investing. I just knew I had this property that we rented to a young lady, and then we rented to my aunt for 4 years. So it was still in the family. It just felt like a
Aw.
second home. But once my aunt decided she was going to move in and purchase her forever home, it was like, oh, I have this property. Let me figure out what to do with it. And so I met some investors, got involved in my local real estate investor group, and was, sitting on a blessing and didn't realize it, really
Yeah.
didn't realize it until I went, oh, I can refinance that and pull cash out of it and go buy another property.
Oh,
And so, yeah, so I was able to do that. And that really kind of was the birth of my real estate career and becoming an investor.
wow. That sounds fun because I dabbled a little bit in real estate. But I'm a photographer, so I
Okay.
did photos at the house. I learned MLS, yeah,
Hmm.
believe, and then I uh, I had to learn the contracts too.
Hmm.
And one of my employers, he was like, "Well, I'm going to pay for you to go to school." I went, then things didn't work out there, so it just stopped. I stopped. I didn't have money to finish, but I don't know if that was a blessing. But I can say, when I get hired for photo shoots, hey, I do homes and everything if you need that as well. So that's the fun part of real estate for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think again, when you're going through it,
Yeah.
whatever it
Hmm.
is, right? It not working out or running out of funds or whatever, it's like you don't realize. But would you have been as fulfilled in that role had you been able to finish it and do it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yes.
I fell into this, I got my license and I've, worked with some clients, some wonderful clients, and that really was a beautiful thing
Yeah.
was working with first-time homeowners and helping them to buy their first home and, kind of going through the process with them and saying like, this is how you can build wealth and,
Yep.
have kind of set yourself up. So that was all wonderful. But that was helping me to determine like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is really what's bringing me fulfillment. I can help people build wealth and through home ownership and give them this
Yeah.
sense of home, which is amazing. And then to get into the investor side and go, oh, I really love this. And I can teach
Yeah.
other women how to do this so that
Yeah.
hopefully when they get to retirement age, they don't have those financial struggles that my mom had, right? She lived with us
Hmm.
because she wanted to live with us, but realistically, she also couldn't afford to not live with us. Social Security isn't going to cut.
Nothing.
No, yeah, 12, I think 1268 was what she had a month. And it's like, what rent are you going to find for less than
Sorry, you're
$1,200?
just not. I'm
You're
gonna be
not.
truthful here. Me and my son are with my mom in her house,
Yeah.
and uh, for a single mom,
Hmm.
I was talking to my dad and my stepmom earlier at lunch today, and I go, I could probably afford the apartment, like a two-bedroom. I go, but I can't afford, the water, the trash, the cell phone, the car payment. I go, there's no way. There's
It,
just no way. And I don't want to say, oh, well, let me go find love really quick so I can settle down. That is not the answer.
yeah, yeah,
So,
it's not.
and you
I,
know what? Yeah, it's just no, I'm staying put. I may want to be running out and getting my own place, but I'm hoping the finances and all that, come lower to where people can actually rent and still pay
yeah.
their bills and everything.
I think that's the beauty, and I didn't know this going in, obviously, I didn't know all of the benefits. I mean, we all know
Yeah.
theoretically, right? That's kind of the American
Yep.
dream, right? Have your house with your white picket fence and all of these things. But home ownership really can do so many other things. I mean, we call house hack, right? Like you can rent out a room if you're, especially if you're a single person and you have a three-bedroom
Yep.
house, rent out a room. I have some investors in my group. I have one young lady who is military. And so she's like, well, I have one room for myself, but I rent out the other three, and it more than covers the mortgage. So you
Good.
can buy
Yeah.
up to a 4 unit, like a multifamily, right? Up to four
Yeah.
units, an FHA loan where you only need 3.5% down. And I think now Fannie Mae has made it where you can do it as a conventional mortgage, 5% down on a up to 4 unit home. So there are so many options that I think people
Yes.
don't know about. And so that's why it's like, okay, women specifically, right? I know everybody needs this knowledge, but coming from a single mom who worked 50 years, many of the years of my life, she worked 2 jobs, right? I remember her working all
Hmm.
day and then doing pizzeria. She was the phone operator at our local pizza place, answering phones, and she worked at a used car dealership on weekends. And like, I
Oh,
remember her
wow.
working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And um, so that is certainly motivation for me, is like, how can I help educate women specifically? Like, there
Yeah.
are alternatives that you can supplement your income. You can do this part-time. I do it part-time. I have my full-time job and a very full-time family, and
Yeah.
I still do this as well. So there's
That's
there's
good.
there's hope out there. You can supplement your income and build yourself financial security.
Well, I know for Christmas, Walmart has these little like piggy banks, and I really want to travel this year so bad. And it said adventure savings or something on it. And so I bought that. And when my son opened, well, what's that? I go, well, we're traveling. We got to start putting our money in there. So
Yes,
I'm setting goals like this is where I want to see myself this next year and 5 years and
I
10
love
years.
it.
And I just have this vision board created already.
I
So
love
it's like,
it.
go for it. But the one thing for job, voluntary, what you said, that just happened to me. So I am looking again for work. And it was funny because with the podcast, somebody is like, well, maybe this is a blessing. You need to be right here,
Yeah,
and just be doing the podcast. And I was like, hearing that, it made me feel good. It gave me this extra strength. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to always continue to do this. I'm always going to continue to be the photographer. I'm always going to be a mom. I'm always going to be a football mom. And then I got to find my full time. Like, what is that? What does that
yeah.
look like for me? So I'm analyzing that and taking a deep breath in, going, okay, things are going to work out. Things are going to be good,
They
until my
will.
car goes away. I'm kidding. I was like, until my car goes away.
No,
But
listen, as anything is possible. I truly, truly believe that. And things happen for you, not to you. And I mean,
yeah,
really, sometimes that's the kick in the pants that you kind of need
yeah,
to take the leap of faith and say, okay, I'm going to invest in myself, right? Because that's what you're doing, is
yes.
invest, like, okay, I'm going to go 100% into this podcast. There's so many ways. I know nothing about social media. I'm horrible at it.
There
You will
are a
see that
lot of
when you
ways.
I know when you check out my socials, you will say, I just learned, like, in the last 2 months, about affiliate marketing. I feel like I'm, way behind in the times here. I'm just going, oh, you can do that? And they're like,
Well,
yes.
the AI coming out. Okay. So last
Gosh.
night when like, I don't want to, like, my computer's down. I want to shut my brain off. But then this AI marketing and da 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 da, and it can do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't want to do this though. I like letters coming from me and being heard by me. And I was like, what is all this about? Do I really need to have this? So I analyze all that. What would make the future run? So, but back to your story. I'm getting off on a tangent. So unfortunately, mom passed, and that was hard. But you know, going through COVID and everything, that's got to be hard. I mean, the COVID, what were the symptoms like that you had?
So I was very lucky because when I actually got COVID, I had just come back from a little girls trip with my two
Uh-huh.
girlfriends. And actually we had a fourth girlfriend that met us there. So we're from the Augusta, Georgia area. And so we went, she came from Texas, but we had a wonderful time. But
Hmm.
There were people everywhere. And so I came back and just kind of felt it, on the plane home. I was like, man, my throat kind of hurts. And um, didn't have horrible, horrible symptoms, but had the whole like, I felt like there was an elephant sitting on my chest for a few days.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was lucky that it didn't progress beyond that, but it was a solid week of just feeling
Oh
like crud. Like you just have those flu symptoms. You're achy and you get the
yeah.
sweats and the this and the that. And so that was just a mess. But yeah, I think COVID in general was just so difficult for so many people. I mean, my kids were, my daughter was a freshman in high school. She completely missed her freshman year in
Oh
high school,
wow.
like she was homeschooled that entire year. And my son was a junior and he did not do well with the remote learning. So it was like we had to kind of reprogram and, get back on
Yeah.
track. So I know that was hard for a lot of moms and a lot of kids. They've kind of
Yes.
fallen behind, right? Like everybody lost a year of learning and that muscle memory of studying and being in the groove
Yep.
of things. That was really rough. Not just for me, I think for everyone. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I'm
fine. That
Yeah,
whole
Liam was like telling me, I actually, and this is sad, Mom, I actually like it remotely because there's no bullying going on at school.
Oh, that's horrible.
And you know what? He had a point, but still, I was like, no, you need to be there. That's the joy and
Mhm.
learning ability. When you go to
Yeah.
school, moms need it, dads need it, we all need a break. You send those kids to school.
Yeah,
But,
my kiddos are very different. So my daughter is
mhm,
younger, she's 17, but she is very scholastic. She loves to read. Like that is her
yeah.
downtime. She's reading books. She's got an entire like library in her room. My son is much more social. So he really struggled with the whole being home for so long and trying to keep up with his studies, doing it all off of, Google Classroom and all of that. He struggled.
Yeah,
But she did it for a whole year. He went back to school after one semester when they made it where you could go back if you wanted
yeah,
in the fall. And so he did go back. But we let her stay because she really thrived in that. But I had sort of the opposite in that she came more into herself. She was
mhm,
already a bit of a introvert, and she just completely became, I don't want to say antisocial, but just very like, I'll stick to myself, thank you. And I was like, no, you have to go
mm,
back to school.
yeah,
Part of life is meeting people and learning
yeah.
yourself and learning how to deal with certain situations.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was very tough for them. Like it is tough for all of us because we were all stuck at home together and it was like, get out of my eye for 5 minutes.
Yeah. And
We,
you always had to watch and you see all the kids on the, squares and stuff. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah.
That was very difficult. And I'm so happy COVID's, I think, over. I think they're not
You
even
know,
checking anymore at hospitals.
no, and what's interesting, I went to Charleston with my husband in October for a
Hmm.
weekend. Like we just did a long weekend because we hadn't gone anywhere for our anniversary in June and all that. So we're like, oh, we'll just go away for a weekend. I came back so sick. I felt like I had COVID, but they tested and it was negative. But I'm like, I wonder if this is one of those like variant strands that just
Yes.
evolving because I had it in late October and I've know probably 8 people who have had it since then. So I think there's
Yeah.
still stuff out
Going
there.
around.
But yeah, it was certainly not as scary as it was back in 2020, which was just horrible.
It's so
Um,
weird to me still. Like it just seems too real or I don't know. It's like, oh, but the wait, this virus is COVID. And the first thing I was like, what did the government do? Like, what is going on? I guess I'm not used to that. Maybe being age 45, I don't say it like that, but I'm one of the many people here. No, nobody's giving me a shot. If I get it, I get it. That's what God wanted. But, I think I've only gotten COVID once and then RSV. That
Ooh.
was the next year. So, yeah. So, and then I know my son, when he goes and he got out of school, what was it, mid-November, he had a fever and cough and felt sick and was out for a week. It was fall break. And I'm like, oh, he didn't miss anything. But I couldn't understand in December, just a couple of weeks ago, he got sick, the same sickness, fever, just out of it, cough. It's been going on, it feels like for a month. As a parent, you're like, okay, we can listen to the cough for a week or two, but when it's a month, I'm like, oh my gosh, will you stop? Like, I just want to plug
I'm
my ears.
there's something going on though. I really feel like there's little remnants, strains
Yeah,
that are out
yeah,
here, and it's part of the course. Wash your hands.
yeah.
Try to
Stay
try to
healthy,
stay as sanitary as you can. Yeah, drink lots of fluids, all of the good
take
stuff.
your vitamins,
Yeah,
eat
take
your
your vitamins.
vegetables.
Try to be healthy in general. Try to be healthy. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. So now, with all that being said, you said that you were able to refocus on your purpose. And I want to hear those steps into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, unbeknownst to me, I got into real estate thinking this is a backup plan, right? Like my job
Hmm.
is a little unsure. I didn't
Yeah.
feel secure in it. And so really for me, it was essentially like, okay, I need a plan. I need something else in
Yeah.
case something happens here. And then I just fell in love with it. And as I was there's courses, and I did a coaching. I signed up for some group coaching, and one of the things that they focused on was your purpose, right? And thinking about like,
Yeah.
well, what have you been through? What are you good at? You kind of go through all those questions, right? What are the things that you love and
Yeah.
all, and was able to kind of make a connection between obviously my mom being a single mom, and I'm an only child to my mom, and us having financial struggles growing up. We always lived with other family members,
Hmm.
which it not that abnormal in my culture, right? We have a lot of multi-generational family living
Hmm.
and things like that. But we really financially couldn't afford to live out on our own, even with my mom working multiple jobs sometimes. And then just really enjoying real estate in general, like everything I was learning was great, working with first-time homeowners. It really became more of like, oh, like this is really what I was intended to do. I can make that connection of like, oh, why am I so invested in helping people find homes? Well, because I didn't really have one, not my own. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah.
we had a home, we lived with family. So I don't want to make it anything negative, but it wasn't our house. You know what I mean? It was
Exactly.
live with them. So I think just not realizing that until, fast forward when you start doing your deep thoughts of like, who am I and how did I get to this place where you go, oh, maybe that helped me get to the point now where I'm invested in helping people find home. What is home
Yay.
mean to you, and how important that is, not just for your family, but for your sense of security, your sense of worth, and then obviously
Mm.
building wealth and building a legacy for the future, for your children, for your grandchildren. So that definitely was uh, like aha moment for me was
Hmm.
like, this is what I was supposed to do. Help people find
Yeah.
home and then help people find financial freedom. And real estate has given me, the ability to do both, which is just amazing.
Nice. So yeah. And I mean, definitely, with your home scenario, I think, I'm a certified wedding planner, but,
Mhm.
as a photographer and a planner, I make sure all their stuff goes really, really well and their dreams are met. That's what I love, but I'm like,
Yeah.
why, why not me? I haven't done that for me yet. So. But when you're giving it your all and everything, that's amazing. So, Now, do you have any new things coming out? Like, are you going to write a book one day, do a
Oh man.
class on life coaching or
Oh, I would love to write a book, but no, probably not anytime soon
no book
anyway.
writing? Hear
Yeah,
that?
no,
I'm
no
not
book
the only
writing
one.
anytime soon. My cup runneth over a little bit at the moment. But I do have a digital course that I'm working on. So like I said, I'm
Okay.
all about teaching and educating others, coaching others on how to get into the real estate investment. I just think
Okay.
it's so it's certainly doable. And so that's one
Hmm.
thing, that's a myth I want to dispel, right? It's not, oh my God, it's so impossible. It's not impossible. Like you can absolutely do it. Like I said, you can house hack, you can buy a multifamily and have your tenants pay your mortgage. There's all kinds
Yep.
of options out there. But really educating women specifically on how to build passive income, how to supplement their current income, and then create passive income so that in 5, 10, 20 years, when they're ready to retire, they don't have those financial struggles. They don't have to live with someone else. They can if they choose to, right? Like my mom
Hmm.
absolutely did not want to live on her own, and I get it.
Yeah.
She and I have always been together, and so it was like, okay, come on. And so
That's
I didn't
awesome.
want to, but I also want it to be your choice, right? I want,
Yeah.
it's funny, my kids, they kind of joke around now, and my daughter will be like, you're getting mom and dad when, whatever. And I'm like, I'm glad y'all are thinking about that, but I don't want to live with you. I'm glad you're
You
willing
already
to
have
have
your
the
mind
conversation.
made up. I
Yeah.
I don't want to live alone. My mind is made up, and my son is like, I'm going to be a pro football player, and I'm
God
going to
willing.
have this mansion on the beach and a high rise in Dallas. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you can live with us. I go, I can. I'll watch all your kids. Have a bunch of kids.
Hey,
I'll be
that's
Gigi.
wonderful.
Yeah. And
Yeah, exactly.
he
That's
has it all
wonderful.
set.
You're doing something right if he's at least willing to, have the conversation about it, which is fantastic. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
for me, that's the message is, or the task is getting the message out there that this is
Yeah.
absolutely doable, that this is a really great option for
Hmm.
supplementing income, building passive income, building financial security for yourself. And so I'm creating a digital course that I will be doing a webinar in January and sharing more about it then. And then the course will come out in February. So I'll have all of that on my website so folks can go to dreambuiltlife.com and find out more.
Can always put it on the Facebook page for Keep
Yes.
Hope Alive.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I see some of my guests, and if something new and exciting happen, I'll post it there too, so the world
Yeah.
can see it also.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as soon as you get those courses done, let me know. We'll get it up and, you know, send
Yeah.
people your
That'll be
way. I mean, I need to
fantastic.
come your way. I gotta learn to save some money on the side and everything. I do with that. Like at the beginning, after Christmas, I use what was it? Digit, but they changed the name to Optum. I don't know. It starts with the O. Anyways, um, I'll save $2 every paycheck. And
Okay.
so I collected maybe 200 some dollars. I don't know this year, but that was Christmas money for my kid. It was extra. So I was happy to take that out, knowing, hey, I got some Christmas money already. Let me go out, find out
Absolutely.
what's reasonable. But as our kids get older, the list gets longer and it's more expensive. And I'm like,
It is a more
no.
expensive list, right? As they get older. I love that idea. I mean, one of the things that I did years ago, a couple of things. So I opened up a bank account with my credit union. So I have my regular bank account through
Yeah,
my normal financial institution, but my job has a credit union or they're affiliated with a credit union. So I opened a separate account. I do not see it. And it's just $25. $25 a paycheck
yeah.
goes in there. I don't
Good,
see,
good, good.
I don't miss it because I, just
Don't
don't
see
even
it.
see it. And then like when you go and check it after a few months, you're like, ooh, I like that.
I know, right?
So I would absolutely recommend that, open an account not in your regular thing because you don't want to see it. If you see it, you're going to go, oh, I have this little fund. The other thing that I found just really like 2 years ago was high
Hmm.
yield savings accounts, which I had my bit of savings in my regular bank account making like, I
Yeah.
think it was 0.2% or something interest, like it was nothing. And so
Yeah.
I went to a high yield savings account and 4.5% interest. So my money is making money for me every
Yay.
month and it's accruing interest. And those are things
Yeah.
that, if you don't, I know it's now it's like, oh yeah, let me tell people about this. But so many people don't know these things are out there. I didn't know they were out
Yeah.
there just a couple years ago. So, those there's all kinds of little things that you can do. I don't know if you've done it with your son. I added my son as an authorized user on my credit card. He did not get the credit card. I kept it, but he's just added. So now he'll be 19 and he's got a pretty good credit score. Like he
Good
gets more.
idea. Good idea. I never thought of that, but that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
just don't give them the card. But yeah,
No.
they're like, I added him. So it'll be there when he's adult enough that he's ready to go. He'll have,
Yes.
he has credit built up and he can use the credit card at that point if he needs to. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do. It's just the small things like these little incremental changes that will
Yeah.
set you up down the line. So
Wow. Wow. You provided our listeners a lot of information. Was there
yeah.
anything else that you're doing, or did I miss anything?
No, I would just say I was very
Oh,
excited to hear you say vision board because I'm actually hosting a
vision
vision
board.
board party on Thursday. Thursday's
I
my
gotta
birthday.
know how that goes.
Yeah, Thursday's my birthday. So I
Happy
do it every
birthday.
year. Thank you. I do it every year because it's just the perfect time right before the new year to do your vision boarding.
Yeah.
I 100% believe in it. Write your vision, make it plain,
Yeah.
and action plan against it. If you want to have your podcast be successful, it will be because you're
Yeah.
going to write it down and you're going to make it happen. I'm going to do the same, right? And so I
Yeah.
encourage everyone to do that. And so we're having a vision board party. We have a weekly women investor group that meets via Zoom. So for all the busy moms out there that can't physically,
Yeah.
hey, I can't meet you guys here, there, I have things. We do it via Zoom. So you can do it while you're cooking. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. And so we'll start that up. We didn't meet today, obviously, because of the holiday yesterday, but we will meet next week. And we have some
Yeah.
great speakers that come and educate us on all things real estate. And then, like I said, in January, I'll be having a webinar and then we'll be launching the digital course February 5th. It will be delivered.
Yay.
So lots going on, go to dreambuiltlife.com and all the information and details are in there.
Oh, okay. So all your email, your phone number,
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's not Twitter.
I
It's a big
don't tweet.
X, right?
It's
I
X
miss.
now, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm on Instagram if you want to find me on
You
Instagram.
see, that's how I feel. Like you got rid of the bird, gave us the bird, got rid of the bird.
Got rid of the
What?
bird.
What the bird?
I don't
Just
tweet,
like,
but I do Instagram. So Moni underscore La Peach is my Instagram handle, and you can find me there as well.
yay! Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on and everything. And I want to thank our other sponsors also who make Keep Hope Alive podcast afloat. Basically, we're having so much fun with this. I mentioned lifeonrecord.com is the interactive guest book. We also have bridalshowsinc.com. So if you're planning an event in the Dallas Fort Worth area, which is in Texas, you can go to their website and see what trade shows there are, so you can go out, meet the vendors, get their information and pricing and stuff like that. Our next one is milesandsmilesevents.com. Deborah Rose, her background, she's an investigator and also she does handwriting analysis and she does the lipstick reading and she is accurate. My mouth just dropped to the ground. I was just like, whoa, how did she know this about me? But she makes events fun. So it's not just birthday parties, it's corporate parties, it's weddings. Nursing homes have fun. Anywhere you want to have I get together and stuff. She'll be there. So check her out. We also have Bryce Harney. He's a magician. You can find him and a mind mentalist. I gotta throw that in there. He's really good. He's all traveling around the world right now doing shows, and he's amazing. But it is brycemagic.com. So if you want to see him perform, yes, definitely get tickets to view this guy. Then we have Richmond Punch, and that's richmondpunch.net. He graduated from the Juilliards. He's a violinist. He's performed in front of a million people, and he travels. If you need a good violinist, you go to Richmond. So, and then our last one is TK Hair Salon. They do the best hairstyling. If you are in the Plano, Frisco, Collin County, Denton area, wherever you are, if you just want to travel to TK Hair Salon, they do a great job. So that's tkhairsalon.com. They do. They did my updo for prom, and it was amazing. I had out my hair all curled, and they took the gray, the gray out of my hair. But they check them out. So, all right. Well, until our next show, we are finishing season 7. It's been a blessing to have all these great guests coming on the show. Wherever you find your podcast, you will be able to find us. And if you have any questions for Monica, you can call us at 833-780-HOPE, which is 4673. I will relay that message to her, and we will do a whole nother segment to answer those questions. But
Yes.
until then, mwah, love and light, guys. Thank you so much, Monica. And you have a great day too.